Como les prometí, voy a tener un live con alguien acerca de las maneras como podemos monetizar con un podcast. Este live va a ser en inglés, estoy esperando a que ella se conecte, que quieren hacer todo el tema acerca de podcasting, acerca, pues, darle tips, darles instrucciones, hacerle seguimientos. Ella tiene incluso un programa que te ayuda a crear tu podcast. Entonces, ella nos va a contar hoy cuáles son las maneras para poder monetizar con, okay, she's here, so from now on, we're gonna start speaking in English because my beautiful friend Yali is already here. Okay, here she is. Waiting for Jolly, waiting for Jolly.
¡Boom!
And here she is.
Ya llegó.
Esto fue como de que bienvenida y ella ¡pum! Aparecí.
Hi, I'm so happy to see you. How are you, my love?
I'm so happy to see you again. Like, I'm so good. I'm so excited about this live because I've been telling people over the last month or even more that we need so many ways to try to monetize our life, not just our Instagram, but our life. We need to find different income sources. And I thought that you were the perfect example for people to tell us, like, how can we do it? Welcome, Yali. So Yali, it's like a podcast manager. She helps you to create in the best way your podcast dream. She is gonna help you to organize it, to find the right music, the right, like, everything that you need for your podcast. And that's what I want to ask you. Well, I mean, like, this is the purpose of this live, but I also want to say that she doesn't just stay with a podcast manager company that she owns. She also have a beautiful gym, and this is like another, like, income source, and it makes me so happy to know that it's like more than one. Like, this is what I've been telling people about. So I'm so happy to have you here. You are like the perfect example that we girls can do it. We girls can have more than one income. And now you're going to teach us how to do it or how we can take advantage of all that. So welcome, my beautiful friend. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And yes, that's true. So I'm the founder and owner of Virtually Cristina. And my name is Yali Cristina. You can say it in Spanish because, come on, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not Latina, okay?
It's Latina power, girl.
Latina power. Latinas doing things. Yes. So, yes, I do have also another source of income, which is a boxing gym called Savage Boxing. I recently started doing morning classes too. So I am also now a fitness instructor that kind of just fell on my lap. Wow. Yeah, so I have a lot going on, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I'm going to talk to you about how you can make money with a podcast. So if you guys have either been thinking about starting a podcast or you're already a content creator like Naya here, that she has a YouTube channel, she has the Instagram, the Facebook. Do you have a Twitter?
I have a Twitter.
She has everything. She has a blog. Like, girl, you need a podcast.
I know. I told you I'm going to hire you and I'm going to do, I know you have, I don't know how to call it, like this challenge or like this like program that you teach people how to do it. I told you the next one I was going to be there, girl, because my next project, I need to get in order a couple things that I'm doing now, but my next one is that one. That's going to be 2021 because I feel like I have too much to say.
You do, and you have just the energy that you need for such a thing because you're high energy, you're charismatic, you're super fun to listen to, and your accent is so sexy.
Should I do it in Spanish or English? I mean,
well,
like,
listen, and that's why I wanted to do this in English because unfortunately for the Hispanic community, podcasts in Spanish, they are not as popular here in the United States as in English because almost everybody in the world speaks English. So that's why if you are bilingual like us, or maybe trilingual, whatever, but one of your languages happens to be English, then I would suggest that you start it in English. Okay. I listen to podcasts because I like to be entertained, and sometimes I want to be educated. So do you listen to podcasts?
I do.
And what reasons do you listen to podcasts for?
I love to listen to the Millionaire Mentor. Oh, I forgot his name. It's like motivation
Oh,
and like,
motivational speakers. Yes.
yes, that
Okay.
one. And there is another one about finances, because I'm in the like in the area of finances, so I always like to listen to new ideas and all that stuff. But it's mostly motivation, because I like to drive, and sometimes I just feel like down, or like I need like a little push.
So you already have a platform here, right? People already believe in you. People have heard you. So most likely they are going to go and listen to your podcast. They know that you have something important and valuable to say. You could use the files that you have on here from your lives. You can repurpose your blogs and say them on your podcast. As long as you have something that's valuable, educational, entertaining, not all three, but at least one of them, then you have the gunpowder to make the podcast, because that's what's going to get you the downloads. And let me
Okay.
explain. What are downloads? Is it like you download music? Like, no. So when people listen to your episode, that is the equivalent of one download. Okay. And then I want to explain this acronym that maybe people that have a YouTube channel may have heard, is CPM. And CPM stands for cost per thousand. So why is this information important? Because if you have a podcast, right, and you get 1,000 downloads and you have an ad on there, you will make $100. $100 para las personas que...
O sea, vamos a traducir esto, porque es que esto está muy importante. Si yo tengo un podcast y 1,000 personas le hacen descarga, y tengo un anuncio en mi podcast, o sea, ya estoy intentando monetizar con mi podcast, yo voy a recibir $100.
Yes. Yeah. So, and I think that number is very doable for people like us that have a couple of thousand followers. So who gives you this money though? You can become part of a network. Just like, I don't know, when you were little, maybe you watched Don Francisco or Cristina the show, right? Or Oprah. So the same thing with podcasts. If you have enough downloads, let's say you host your podcast on a directory like Podbean. Let's say Naya wants to put an ad for her network, and she comes to my podcast and she looks at my analytics and says, wow, Christina has 3,000 downloads. You know what? I'm going to put my ad on her because it makes sense, because finance applies to everyone in the world, because everyone in the world makes money. And I like her energy, and I'm just going to place my ad there, right? Great. Okay. So for every 1,000 to 3,000, like I said, you make $100. So the network is the one that pays you.
Oh,
okay.
That's
and
very
then,
interesting.
And by becoming part of a network, we all help each other as a network to get more listeners. Well, I'll do cross like we're doing right here. We'll do cross promos. So I'll have Tammy come to my podcast. We'll talk. Her audience listens to me. If they like me, they'll sign up for me, right? Same with you. And the ball keeps rolling. So now here comes the bigger numbers, babies. Get ready. So if you get anywhere between 30,000 to 50,000 downloads and you have just one ad, you can make $1,000 per episode. So if you have 10 episodes and each one you have one ad and you get that many downloads, that's $10,000 right there.
Oh my God. It's so funny because Tammy is just saying on the chat, she is like, look at Naya with her eye really open because she likes to make money. And I'm like, okay, when do we launch our podcast?
We're not talking pennies right here, baby.
You know what? I forget about my YouTube channel. I'm going to start a podcast.
For everybody that was thinking about starting a YouTube channel, which I started my YouTube channel, but now I'm seriously considering to start a podcast instead. For every Ashmani, me está remedando. So for the YouTube channel, you know, you need a box, lighting, makeup, a space, some props, all of that, right? It's just so time consuming. And for example, I have a camera. It's over here. I have a camera. I bought it. I don't know how to use it. That's already costing me because I'm wasting time. I don't know how to use it. I mean, I need to hire somebody to teach me how to use it, or I really need to sit down and read the manual. And who has time to read a manual? Versus a podcast, you can record it straight from your laptop in a hair bun or however you want with your dog next to you, and nobody cares because nobody can see you.
You know what I was thinking? Maybe if you are proactive and you want to do two things at the same time, you just can record the podcast and record your YouTube video at the same time. Like you can use the camera, you can use the light, you can use all the stuff that you already have. And guess what? The same video and the same audio, it's going to be useful for two different platforms where you can totally monetize.
From
So,
boom, right there. Two income resources
boom,
right there.
more money, baby.
Yes. Yes, exactly. That's what I like about your attitude is that you're already thinking ahead. But for those people that are shy or they don't know how to do their makeup, maybe they don't know how to do their hair, or maybe maybe one day you don't want to make a video, but you want to do a podcast, then you can always repurpose it. Or if one day you feel so good and you say, you know what, I'm going to hop on this camera, you put it on YouTube, and then you can have your virtual assistant create, repurpose, download the audio, and make an episode out of it.
That's amazing.
So that's what I wanted to say about the big stuff to get you all excited about podcasting. I think we covered about 3, but we're gonna keep on going because I have some more. Also, if you want to add more than one ad, obviously that's gonna bring you more money. So as a podcast listener, I don't like to hear more than 2 ads on an episode, but if you get greedy and you want to put 2 or 3 more ads on there, that's $2,000 to $3,000 just per episode. Yeah. So, so your face, I'm just waiting to see what you're going to say. So that's why it's important, like somebody that has a lot to say and is very great in communication and all of that, or even if you're not that great, like I know sometimes my grammar is not that great, but if somebody is entertained by what I have to say, guess what? I have downloads right there. So that brings me to the other stuff that's not as exciting, but also can make you some money. For example, there's this girl, her name is Amber Khan. She's a tarot reader. Every month she does events. She has a call to action. For those of you that don't know, CTA, call to action. So what she does at the end, she'll say, hey guys, thanks for listening. Please go to my website. I have the Sagittarius event coming up. And it's $22 per ticket. And it's going to be hosted on eventbrite.com. So if you're a motivational speaker, if you're an educator, if you, like you, for example, you could say something like that. That's your promo. Like you would record your clip. So once you talk all that, then you would add that to every episode at the end or wherever you want to put it, the beginning, the meeting, the middle, whatever. And people naturally are attracted to you. So they'll say, you know what, let me go check this out. Let me go check her class. It could be a webinar, a master class that people could pay whatever you want, $5, $10, whatever. I went to one of her events in December. It was $22. And there was so many people on that Zoom call that I couldn't scroll any further, like to see the pictures. And imagine, let's say it was 50 people and each person paid $22. Girl, that's $1,200 per month, which I think is like $1,200 per year. And there's 12 signs in the zodiac, baby. So 12,000 times 12 just from doing that one event.
And it's just one that it takes probably 1 or 2 hours of your day. So it's not like you're going to be sitting down in your office, like doing stuff for 8 hours, like a regular job. It's just like something that you really love and you're really passionate about, and you just want to share it with people. And it's okay that you charge for that. You're getting money out of that.
Yeah, so that's one way is you'll sell your digital products, So that's what she does. And then there's more common methods that cost you money, like selling merchandise. And that costs you money though. Because like, let's say if I'm selling a sweater, it's going to cost me to pay to make the sweater, to deliver the sweater. So I don't really recommend those things. I want things that you can just sign up for a membership, sign up for this, and just keep the money rolling. Something que no se va a podrir. Something that's not going to, you see there I go with my English.
Like go bad.
Yeah, something that's not gonna rot. Like, you know, you're gonna have inventory that's not gonna be trending anymore, and like, I don't know. I mean,
Like you just can't get stuck with like stuff in your house. For example, if you just send like and start making like a lot of sweatshirts and like then you don't sell them all, you're just gonna get stuck with that. So
yeah,
it's like that's what I say, and this is something really important that I've been saying all this time. And I think it's really good, like if you understand that you need to go digital, like even if you are just creating content, just posting on Instagram, just doing that stuff, you need to understand that the traditional business is like getting out of business. And now you need to just go digital. Like, what can you offer to people that is looking at you, like checking your Instagram, checking your social media, that they can pay for that? What are you good at? And I feel like this is a really good way to share that experience with people and get money out of that. It's no wrong, it's no bad that you're getting money out of people just because you're doing what you love.
of
Like,
course.
I don't know if this happened here in the States with American people, but Latin people have the belief, like, if I know something, I need to help people for free. And if I charge people, I'm a bad person. So I've been telling and trying to like get people in the culture, like, listen, if you're really passionate about and you have a way to share it, like this is an amazing way, like a podcast. Just we like what we're doing now, it could perfectly be a podcast. Like you having the experience of podcasting and me having the experience how to make more money.
Yes.
So like we can perfectly have a podcast and we can perfectly monetize out of these. So this is so important for people to know. And it's so funny. We have a question here. It says, how can I make 2 to 3K an episode? I think you just said it, like with
Yes.
ads and
When
like
you
if
become part of a network. So if you have great enough value, like somebody is downloading your episode, you have 30,000 to 50,000 downloads, that's when you're going to attract the attention of the networks that are going to invite you to play their ad if it makes sense. So for example, if I sell, let's say, women's perfume, I'm not going to put my valuable ad on a true crime, you know, because everybody's listening to that, they might not be interested in that. Like a yoga mat is not going to put their ad on a basketball podcast. It's not going to make sense. So even if you have the numbers, let's say you have the numbers, well, they're not going to want to play their ad on yours. But if you have something that like finance, right? And I am a financial coach, and let's say you don't offer financial coach, well, it would only make sense for me to do that. But I would hope that you would offer that, because that's another way. Here I come with another idea, is that if, let's say for you, that you do like personal one-on-one coaching or consultations on how to make more money, add more sources of income, that's another ad that you can indirectly monetize, because you can put at the end, you can put an ad at the end. Hey, if you love this episode and you would like to dive deeper into learning how to generate more sources of income, book a call with me today. It's $30 an hour, just throwing a number out there. And let's get together. Go to my Instagram, use my book now button, wham, $30 right there. And let's say you get 3 bookings in a day, that's $90 in one day. Okay, so that's another way to make money. Like there's so many, you just gotta get creative.
yeah, I have a question because this happened to me often, and I always get with this confusion. And if Tommy's still here, she's gonna kick my ass because I always ask this. Like for example, at this point, if you go to my Instagram account, I'm handling all my social media, or especially my Instagram, in Spanish, my Pinterest in Spanish, Facebook in Spanish, and all that stuff in Spanish. Maybe I don't believe enough in myself, but I feel like out there, especially in this country, there is so much competition for finances, which is my area in English, and I try to do something different. I feel like Hispanic people lack in that area. So if I want to do a podcast, like for example, I'm creating a lifestyle Instagram page with my boyfriend, because out of all these sources of income that we've been generating, we want to show people how people can really enjoy their lives just having different sources of income, especially with like digital ways. So for example, if my area of expertise is finances, but I don't want to go into a podcast with finances advice, because obviously if people go and try to look for me, they're going to find all this stuff in Spanish. It's going to be like contradictory. Can I do something like a podcast in Spanish referring to my life as, I'm sorry, podcast in English referring to my lifestyle and all that stuff, like maybe tips and like, I don't know, something like that will be like that, something that people likes, or I don't know if I made myself clear, but
Okay.
it's kind of confusing. And I feel like I have gotten so many text messages from people that it's telling me all the time stuff like, I have so many passions and I don't know where to start. And this is just with Instagram. So I feel like the same could happen with a podcast, especially when you are bilingual, so, or trilingual. So how do you think you can just like handle this? Like what kind of advice will you give to people that like me that is in that situation?
Well, this is the thing, because I have people, because I have also a bilingual community, English and Spanish. They'll come to me and say, "Hey, is your course going to be in Spanish? Can you teach me in Spanish?" And I'm like, and I tell other people, like I know Jackie, I don't know if she's still here. I was interested in taking her course, but it's only offered in Spanish.
Yeah.
So if I'm understanding your question correctly, is you're telling me whether you should do it in English or in Spanish, because you have all of your content is in Spanish, but yeah, you speak English. So what would be best? Is that what you're asking?
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, in your case, because everything is in Spanish, I would say to just stick to Spanish, especially if that is already generating income. Because if you would go in English, you would be starting all over again from zero. And people are going to be like, okay, this girl, she knows what she's saying, but who is she? Like, you're going to have to reintroduce yourself, unless most of the people that are already following you, like me, that speak both languages, it would be a no-brainer. Like, okay, I'll listen to her in any language because I know what she's talking about and I feel her. Like I identify with her. And for anybody else here that's having the same question, is also think about which language do you think will bring you the most money.
I think I'm just gonna go for more like a lifestyle podcast, like I don't know, some entertainment podcast or something that I just can come up with.
I launched the waitlist today, and it's gonna, yeah, so there's a waitlist now. You can go to the link in my bio. It's called Podcast Wing Woman. This is going to be a beta course, so you're going to have me there. We're gonna do Google Meets bi-weekly. It's a 1-month program, and this is for people that like a challenge, that are ready to produce their podcast, that they have, or maybe you don't have an idea as to what it's going to be about, but you have a business or you're an expert at something and you're ready to monetize. I did my research. There's always places where it teaches you how to launch a podcast, but girl, that is so easy. You can just Google, it's as easy as starting an Instagram account. But the problem is that without guidance, people fall off after 90 days. They stop doing it because they don't know what they're doing. They get discouraged. They don't know where to monetize. They find out that the music they chose is illegal, so they have to start all over again. So if you want to do it right, please sign up for the waitlist.
Just to make like to repeat what we were saying already, to make like a resume, like we were saying that the ways to monetize with a podcast are: the first one, getting downloads and getting to monetize through that. Like if you get downloads between like 1,000 and 3,000, it's gonna be around $100. But if you go up to 30,000, it can be like $1,000. So that's the first way, right? The second way is like pretty much monetize through my own services, doing an ad myself and sending people to subscribe to my next
It's like a
class or
funnel.
something, like something that I have planned for the people who is listening to my podcast. I can invite them to subscribe and just get money out of that. And then other one, can you just remind me? That one I didn't have it very clear, like the third one.
Yeah, that one was for the indirectly. And then if you are like an expert or have a business or something like that, you can host events on Eventbrite where you could do a master class, or you could host just an event, something fun that people will pay for to go out and hang out with you. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the people that was connected or the people that is gonna watch this IGTV later check the whole video, it's gonna find more than one way to generate income just with one podcast, because we also talk about the possibility of recording a podcast and on top of that recording a video for YouTube. And for people that don't know, YouTube is another way to monetize, so you can have another way, a fourth way to monetize.
Yeah.
This was really, really interesting. I mean, like, I was like, hello, my
Your eyes were
podcast
going
is
like
coming. Tammy said it. Tammy said it. Tammy was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Look at Nadia. Look at Nadia's face. How is she's looking at Yali? I know she's going to say something in the chat because she knows me. I'm happy when I make money. I'm happy just looking for ways to make extra money. And this one crossed my mind at some point. I have an idea. It's not totally like settled, but it was so clear for me. It was like, okay, 2021, wait for Naya's podcast because it's coming.
Yes. It's so inexpensive to start. So you can use just your phone. You can use the headphones that comes with your phone. I don't recommend it if you want a high quality podcast. So a producer like me will know, like, they're using a shitty microphone. But a person that loves you and admires you, they're not going to care so much about the quality. They're not going to be like, oh my God, she's using a Yeti, that's good. Or she's using a Shure, wow, that's amazing. Or she's using her iPhone headphones, like, you know, the listener is not going to care. So it doesn't matter if you have tons of money to invest. And if you do, I mean, it could cost you maybe $300 to buy all of the equipment versus starting like a YouTube channel where you have like a $2,000 camera that you don't know how to use. So you can start so easily, especially if you have communication skills, if you know how to warm up for it, which I'm going to teach you all of those things in the course too.
I want to say this for the people that also know Spanish, because I've been saying it a lot in Spanish in my Instagram account, and you can go and check and you will find it. But I'm going to say it in English now. Like, instead of investing your money in stuff that doesn't give you a return of your inversion, I'm talking about money and time. If you're investing your time in just getting out of work and going home instead of working in what you really love and just laying down as a lazy ass, not doing anything, if you're investing your money in like going out every weekend, even with COVID around, and instead of investing your money in like a advice and like knowledge and like equipment that you can use, you are not doing anything. I mean, like, you won't get anywhere and you're gonna be stuck in that position, and
As
it
a
won't
consumer.
matter. Yeah, it won't matter your good intentions and all the purposes that you have for New Year. You won't get anything. This was just an opening about how much money you can make out of just social media, the new era or whatever. So it's the digital time and you need to take advantage of it. So my advice is take advantage of this, because if you are not digital, you're nowhere. And that's all I gotta say. Besides, thank you to you. I got a little bit worked up. Like, I really would like to people to understand how important it's like to open their minds about all this.
Beat them up, Naya. Beat them up. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. So I hope that this IGTV saves. If not, then try to download it, or I don't know, save it.
I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
love.
right, well,
Thank you so much for being here. I hope we have a next time with more information about something else. Thank you for the people that has been here with us. Thank you to the people that is gonna see or watch this video after.